Well, had a few calls today. Got a call last night on a John Deere, and he calls and says, I need a belt. And I said, okay, yeah. And of course, one of the biggest problems is when people call on a cell phone and they don't have a good signal. And of course, you know, you get disconnected 3 or 4 times, and you're trying to communicate between all this frustration. So he wants me to pick it up, and I said, yeah, I can pick it up, but at this time the signal is starting to drop off. So I texted him a message, said, just text me your address, I'll come pick it up in the morning. And well, he was calling back at the same time I hit the send button. So anyway, we got it all worked out. He says, I just need a belt. And he says, what are you going to charge for that? And I said, look, if it's only a belt, here's what I'll charge. And plus you have the pickup and the delivery fee, and this is what that costs. Okay. And I said, but if it's anything else, no, it's not anything else, it's just a belt. He wouldn't let me finish, and of course, like I said, we're having signal issues. So I knew this was going to be a problem because he was very suspicious. He felt like he was getting in a con, because he asked for the guy who used to run the company up here, but that guy retired 3 years ago. And I said, no, he's retired. He had his own company, and when he retired, I started this company. So I told him my name, because he wanted my name, address, and all that. Again, very suspicious. And I said, I gave him my first name, and he says, and he gives the last name of that guy over there. I said, no, I'm no relation to that guy. I don't have anything to do with him. I thought you took over his business. No, sir. When he retired, I started my own company. Oh, okay. So the thing is, I don't think he actually used that guy. So, and he's on Google, so he knows it, because he asked my company name. He says, yeah, it's right here. But that other guy is still listed, but he's way down here. So he was mixing the two up somehow or another. But anyway, I knew that he was pretty suspicious, so I wanted to make sure that when I got over to his place, before I put it on the truck, that I took a look at it just to make sure what he was saying was true. First thing I noticed, we have a ball hitch on a John Deere 110. I mean, this thing is tiny. It's not designed. It's 19 horse. The hood's falling off. So the transmission's shot, but that's what, he's not asking about the transmission. That's fine. So first thing I do is I drop the deck down right in front of me, and I start spinning all the spindles and pulleys. Well, I get to this one, and look at all the grass on it. It's just caked with grass. And I get to this one, and I say, sir, that pulley is no good. The bearings are wearing out. I mean, you can hear it a mile away. It's clunking. It's in bad shape. This one's not so bad, but it doesn't spin easily. See, it doesn't spin, so it's going bad too. So he says, well, I don't know what that means. And I said, well, I suggest you replace it. And he never did authorize the replacement, but I'm going to anyways, because later he said something that pretty much authorized it. So then I checked this blade, and it's in good shape. And I thought, you know, I probably should go back to the other side and check the other blade just to make sure. So I go over to the other side. Of course, it's harder to get to. And I reach under, I find the blade. It's dangling. So this has got one of those star patterns on it. So that means that with it dangling like that, that the star pattern is shot. So it needs a new spindle. Well, all this comes in sets. Those pulleys, they come in sets. The spindles come in sets. It needs a new blade because that blade is going to be all goofed up. Comes in sets. So this isn't just a belt. This is basically rebuilding the deck. And, you know, he was very insistent about my labor cost. But the labor cost included a belt change. This is going to be a complete rebuild. So he's going to get an extra hour of labor. There's just no way that I can do it all in an hour. 2 pulleys, 2 spindles, 2 blades, and a new belt. But the transmission, I'm sure there's not much time left on this mower here. It's not designed to be carrying that kind of weight, and I know what he's been carrying. They tow their boats around with these. They take it down to the dock or down the boat ramp. These boats are huge. So, you know, I worry that they're going to hit the brake one time and the brake's not going to work. And so now the boat and the lawnmower and him is going into the water. Or worse yet, they're going down at the steep hill, transmission or the belt breaks, starts rolling backwards. They hit the brakes. And it flips them over. So, but that's not my problem. I can tell them. They won't listen. I've been doing it for 40 years. I tell you, every one of them love to tell me, this is my second home. I live in Kansas or Kansas City. Or... Yeah, I know. I can tell. You don't have to tell me. I've got it figured out. But, so also I had a chainsaw here. And, you know, he brought it on Friday, so there was no way I was going to get that repaired. So I got it patched up and running. Just need a new carburetor. I already threw the carburetor out, I think. Here it is. He was happy. And then guy comes in, calls me this morning. He says, I got a zero turn. Actually, while I was going to pick that one up. It always concerns me when they call, you know, when I'm picking something up, because I don't want to drive and talk at the same time. So I'm always concerned I'm going to lose the customer. But I said, can I call you back? I'm picking up a lawnmower right now. Oh yeah, sure, no problem. So it'll be about half hour, 45 minutes. So 45 minutes later, I called him back and he answered right away. Had a zero turn. He says, the bar that lifts it up and down the deck has come off on my zero turn. Oh, okay. I said, does it need welded? No, it just came off. Okay. So he brings it over, shows me the bar, and I look underneath the deck, and the brackets that the bar hangs onto are completely bent over. I mean, he has hit something really hard. I don't imagine the bar came off. I would imagine he took the bar the rest of the way off so he could get it, you know, on the trailer or whatever. I find it funny. You know, I guess I don't understand why people treat their lawnmowers so badly. I mean, I know why I treat mine so well. My dad bought me a lawnmower, a wheel horse, a used. It smoked so bad. And I was pretty excited about it. He and I fixed it. I mean, he worked at a mechanic shop. So I drove it across from the barn at the mechanic shop into the mechanic shop. Just puff of smoke. I mean, you couldn't see. And we stayed up all night putting that thing back, you know, taking it, putting new rings in it, putting it back together. It was a good project. Well, shortly after that, Mom and Dad separated. And so I lived closer to my grandfather, who loved wheel horses. Absolutely loved them. And so he helped me keep it together. But he was very picky about how you treated a lawnmower. I mean, very picky. Nowadays, this is not a true statement, but back then it was a true statement. You're not supposed to, back then you weren't supposed to run the RPMs all the way up. You're supposed to throttle it down a little bit. But for full horsepower, you have to have it all the way up. You have to get full RPMs. They'll say that with a vehicle, you know, 3,000 or 2,000. I keep saying it wrong. What is it? Let's just say the truck, I forget what it is, 175, 150 horsepower at so many RPMs. Well, back then, you didn't get full horsepower. That thing was an 8 horsepower, but it was probably only running about 6 because we turned down the RPMs. But that was okay back then because you had more torque. That means that your crank shaft that ran the piston was longer. So you had more torque. So it's like if you have a big long wrench, you can get more power out of a long wrench than you can a short wrench. Same thing applies with an engine. So nowadays, you have to run full RPMs because you got to get the full horsepower, because the shafts are shorter. So you have to get the horsepower because you don't have the torque. Why did I get off on that? Anyway, so that was one of his rules. Never run it up to full RPM. The other rule he had was never go past first gear. Oh, that was miserable. I mean, it was just creeping along. And one time, he brought it, you know, we worked on it. We brought it over to Mom's house, you know, where I lived, Mom's house. And he said, go test it out. So I was going real slow in first gear in the front yard. But then when I get in the backyard, I go in full gear, third gear. Oh, he was upset with that. Very upset. So, I mean, he caught me, obviously. I thought I was being sneaky. But I learned a lot. And I also learned that you just don't run over everything. You can't hit stuff. I don't think I needed that lesson, though. That's the problem. I think I already knew that you're not supposed to hit things. You know, you hit a rock, it damages the blade, and you got to sharpen the blade. That's terrible. You don't want that. You know, you hit something, it bends the spindle, breaks the spindle. But it just seems like that people don't seem to understand that. I mean, the guy with the John Deere. You mean that loose blade would have caused the belt to fall off? Well, yeah, I said the vibration would have been so bad that the spindle was starting to kick up and down. The deck was flexing. Well, I don't know about that. Well, I do. That's what happens. You can't. Besides, what difference did it make if the belt was working or not, if the blade couldn't spin anymore because it was so loose? So, and that's the thing is, he says, well, you can fix whatever you need to fix just so you can get the belt back on, whatever it takes to get the belt back on. He's still convinced the problem is the belt. The belt is like the last thing to worry about. If he had the old belt, I'd probably just put it back on. But it's not there. I don't know where it is. But it's just full of grass. So, I mean, doesn't take care of it. Oil leaking everywhere. Hood's falling off. He's got a ball hitch on it, but he's so worried about this machine that it's going to get stolen. So I don't understand. People just beat these machines up and then are surprised that that's what happened. What was it the other day? Somebody said something. Which mower was it? I can't think. Oh, had a Cub Cadet here. That's what it was. That Cub Cadet's been here a lot. And the pulley, like the one I just showed you where it's making all that noise, was gone. It was absolutely just gone. Now, it could have froze up and fell off like that one's about ready to do. But the bolt was bent over. So I looked at the blades and there's a big old nick in the blade. So I had to replace the whole assembly because everything was bent. And I tell the guy, it's pretty obvious that you hit something with it. And it bent that bolt over. Really? I wouldn't have thought that would have happened. Well, where's that energy supposed to go? I mean, you got these blades spinning at 200 miles an hour. If you hit your car into a tree at 200 miles an hour, it's going to bend. Something's going to break. I guarantee it. But for some reason, they don't seem to think that's what happens with the lawnmower. So, and they want to blame you when you tell them, look, you've hit something. No, that's got to be something that you did the last time you worked on it. There's nothing I did that would have bent a bolt. That's not possible. So, anyway, I'm going to jump off of here. So if you'll click this up next box, take the video over to my other channel, we'd appreciate it. Go check it out. So if I can inspire you, take care of your equipment so you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.